Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Did you spend some time in Port Charles today, Wednesday, April 23rd? If not, here is a fresh General Hospital recap for you. Brook, Lynn Quartermain, Amanda Seddon, and Harrison Chase Josh Swickard sit down with Lois Cerullo, Rena Sofer, to tell her their good news. They have decided to adopt a baby, and here's the catch. They want to use the same adoption agency that placed BLQ's son 20 years ago. Lois looks as if she has seen a ghost and is saved by a phone call. She excuses herself and then calls her mom and asks what to say since they never used an agency for Brook, Lynn's baby. Lois returns to the Q's living room and tells her daughter that they went through St. Ignatius, but that it closed 15 years ago. Ned Quartermain, Wally Kurth, walks in, overhearing the baby discussion, and is thrilled to learn that a grandchild is on the horizon. Lulu Spencer, Alexa Havens, has found a new home for herself and her kids. Her mom, Laura Collins, Jeannie Francis, stops by briefly to take a look around, but then leaves when she realizes that Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprogna, is already on duty. He helps Lulu to get things working and eventually they sit outside together and share a drink in the glasses that they bought on their first trip to Disney. Dante tells her that while she was in a coma, he carefully packed up her house and had hoped that one day they would use these glasses again. While talking, Lulu gets a phone call from a newspaper which she had pitched a story to. She is about to write a piece on adoption. Tracy Quartermain, Jane Elliott, is waiting for Laura to join her for lunch when Ezra Boyle, Daniel Cosgrove, shows up first. He approaches her and offers her help from his spot at City Hall should she need it. She doesn't want to hear about the Esplanade when the referendum is really about Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard, who she wants gone. She writes Ezra a hefty check and expects him to work some magic. Laura can't believe that Tracy actually donated to Boyle and they then launch into a conversation about Sonny. Tracy wants him gone and she also doesn't want him making Laura look bad. Laura fears that Jen's Sidwell, Carlo Rota, is looking to replace Sonny as the Port Charles crime boss, and she fears that he could be even worse for their city. At a nearby table, Nina Reeve, Cynthia Watrous, and Portia Robinson, Brooke Kerr, are discussing how Drew Kane, Cameron Matheson, has made both of their lives a mess. Both of their situations are hopeless, and they agree that they need to get rid of him. Nearby, they notice Drew's helper, Ezra, chatting with a woman that Nina knows is an escort named Jacinda. This might be the leverage that they need. Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, has stopped in to see Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, who tells him that she is starting to put custody proceedings in place on her son, Michael Corinthos' behalf. Jason tells her that it's not up to her, it is up to Michael and his estranged wife, Willow Corinthos, Caitlin McMullen, to figure things out. Carly tries to say that Michael is in no shape to do it and then finally blurts out that he is still in love with Willow. Jason tells her that he talked to Willow and suggested she visit her husband because they have never actually talked things through. Carly loses her mind at the thought, but understands it's truly her son's decision to make. Meanwhile, Willow gets home and is ready to talk to Drew. He excitedly tells her that his attorney has drawn up paperwork that gives him custody of her kids if something happens to her or Michael, and she tells him to stop. It's not his decision to make. Willow also tells Drew that she has decided to visit her husband in the burn clinic. Drew pretends to support her and is ready to plan a whole vacation for the two of them in Germany when Willow shoots that idea down. She tells him that she needs to make the trip alone. Drew says that he supports her decision, but his face says otherwise. Port Charles was abuzz with emotion and unexpected twists today as families deepened their roots, secrets teetered on the brink of exposure, and love, of all kinds, complicated the paths ahead. From the Quartermain mansion to the corridors of GH and the quiet corners of the Metro Court, April 23 delivered a warm but drama-filled hour that promises ripple effects in the days to come. Brook, Lynn and Chase make a life-changing decision. The episode opened at the Quartermain estate, where Brook, Lynn, radiant but restless, sat at the breakfast table with Chase. The sun filtered through the windows, casting a glow that belied the nervous tension in the room. Brook, Lynn, still beaming from their wedding just a few weeks ago, had clearly been mulling something major overnight. She set her coffee cup down, looked at Chase with a mixture of nerves and hope, and said, "I've been thinking a lot about what's next for us. I know we've barely settled into married life, but, have you ever thought about kids?" "Not someday. I mean now." Chase blinked, surprised, not because he hadn't thought about it, but because the directness of her words struck deep. "Are you saying, you're ready?" he asked carefully, searching her face. Lynn nodded, a slight tremble in her smile. I'm ready. But I want to adopt. The pause that followed was brief but electric. She quickly explained. After everything with Bailey, how hard it was to give her up, how that love never left me, I know I want to be a mother. But I also know there are so many kids out there who need a home, a family, and I think, maybe that's our path. Chase was visibly moved, his eyes misting. He reached across the table and took her hand. I think that's beautiful. And I think it's our kind of love story. Their mutual agreement to pursue adoption didn't just feel like a sweet milestone, it was a powerful statement about healing, second chances, and rewriting family on their own terms. Later in the episode, they were seen visiting the adoption agency, filling out preliminary paperwork and chatting with a social worker about the process. It was clear, this wasn't just a conversation. Brook, Lynn, and Chase were all in. Willow's unexpected proposal to Drew. Over at General Hospital, Willow was back at work in the oncology wing, her strength slowly but steadily returning after last year's health crisis. Despite the calm expression she wore, something was clearly on her mind. Her glances at the elevator every few minutes hinted at a conversation she'd been dreading, or maybe hoping for. Finally, the elevator doors opened, and Drew Kane stepped out, his face lighting up when he saw her. Hey, stranger, he said, embracing her warmly. You look stronger every time I see you. Willow smiled, but her tone was more serious than usual. Can we talk? Somewhere private. They retreated to an empty patient consultation room, and as soon as the door closed, Willow turned to face him with a directness that rivaled Lynn's earlier moment. I want you to take over Crimson again. Drew blinked, surprised. Wait, what? You want me to? Willow, I thought you were happy running it. I am, she admitted, but not like this. Running Crimson was supposed to be temporary, just until things settled down after Nina left. And now I've realized, I miss nursing. I miss helping people, not just publishing fashion spreads and negotiating with advertisers. And if I want to get back into the field, someone has to take the reins. Someone I trust. That's you. Drew looked stunned but impressed. That's a big decision. Are you sure? Willow nodded. 100%. I've been trying to be everything for everyone. Michael's partner, the kid's mother, a magazine editor, a nurse, a cancer survivor. But I can't be all of it, not well. I need to focus on what matters. The raw vulnerability in her words touched Drew deeply. There was no bitterness, no drama, just an honest assessment of a woman rediscovering herself after trauma. Drew promised he'd think it over but added, whatever you decide, I'm proud of you. Michael and Nina. Cold War reignited. Meanwhile, Michael Corinthos caught wind of Willow's conversation with Drew, though not through Willow herself. A loose-lipped Crimson assistant had mentioned Drew's name and a transition plan, and Michael, ever the protector, immediately confronted Willow later at the gatehouse. You're handing Crimson over to Drew. Why didn't you tell me? Willow, caught off guard, explained her reasoning, but Michael's mind had already gone to darker places, namely, how closely tied Drew was to Nina, Willow's estranged biological mother. I just worry Nina might use Drew as a way back into your life, he said cautiously. Willow's response was sharp but controlled. This isn't about Nina. This is about me. And I can handle myself, Michael. You don't need to manage every part of my life. The tension between them was palpable, a rare moment of friction in their usually united front. Could this be the beginning of cracks in their relationship, or just growing pains as Willow reclaims her autonomy? Gregory and Finn. Heartfelt progress. Elsewhere, Gregory Chase was having a good day, perhaps one of his best in weeks. After a physical therapy session, he sat with Finn at the hospital garden, enjoying the spring breeze in a moment of peace. I know the ALS is progressing, Gregory admitted, but today, I felt strong. Not just in my body, in here. He tapped his chest. That's your doing, son. You've never given up on me. Finn, emotional but trying not to show it, just smiled. Well, you never gave up on us. They were joined briefly by Elizabeth, who brought them both coffee and shared a quiet, touching moment with Gregory. She offered to help plan a small garden dedication in his honor, a project that seemed to uplift him. I'd love that, Gregory said softly. Let's do something that lasts, even when I'm gone. A glimmer of jealousy for Christina. At Charlie's pub, Christina met with Molly and TJ to finalize plans for the upcoming baby shower. But when TJ casually mentioned a prenatal appointment he and Molly attended without Christina, her smile faltered. You could have invited me, she said, a little too brightly. Molly looked up, surprised. We didn't mean to leave you out, Chris. It was last minute. Christina tried to brush it off, but the lingering hurt was obvious. As the surrogate, she's given everything, but the reality that the baby won't truly be hers is beginning to set in. Later, as she wiped down the bar, she confided in Blaze, "What if I can't let go? What if I'm already too attached?" Closing montage. Hope, healing, and unspoken tension. The episode ended with a soft, emotional montage. Brook, Lynn, and Chase walking hand in hand through a park, a stack of adoption brochures tucked under Chase's arm. Willow returning to the nurse's station, smiling faintly as she slipped on her GH badge again. Drew staring thoughtfully at the crimson office door, as if already picturing his return. Michael watching Willow from across the room, uncertainty in his eyes. Christina sitting alone at Charlie's, her hand gently resting on her belly. Gregory dictating into a voice recorder, beginning what he called the goodbye journal. And finally, Nina at the Metro Court rooftop, sipping wine and gazing out at the harbor, unaware of how close she might be to being drawn back into her daughter's life. Final thoughts. April 23 delivered all the emotional weight GH fans love, heartfelt family decisions, complicated relationships, and characters striving to heal in their own ways. With Brook, Lynn, and Chase embarking on the path to adoption and Willow potentially changing the course of her life again, Port Charles is at a turning point. And in true General Hospital fashion, the most unexpected chapters are still ahead. Thanks for watching this video and please subscribe our GH News 24 YouTube channel for more update news.